Hey there, I'm Derek here from Pearl, and today on Pearl Academy, we're going to be looking into how to pick a vanity sink and the different styles available for you. This is Life with Pearl. There are some questions that you want to ask when you're actually deciding on what vanity sink you want. One of them is, what materials are you working with in the washroom? Do you want the sink to be the focus of the space, or do you want the sink to be more of a background supporting role? Now, in general, there are 4 different styles of vanity sinks: top resting, half mounted, top mount, and undermount. Which one you choose depends on how much of the sink you want exposed. Here at Pearl, we have a coded naming system for all of our vanities. Each of the letters after our Casu series means something, and the first letter has to do with the style of its mount. Let's start with our top resting line. These are all coded with Ds. A top resting, also known as a vessel sink, is where the basin rests completely on top of the counter. These tend to grab the focus in the washroom. They're arranged such that it's almost as if they're on a pedestal. Vessel sinks are often made of interesting materials as well, like our Casu Gs, which are all made of glass. Or they also can be made into interesting shapes. The style of sink that you should get is this one if you want a more artistic or more stylized washroom. These usually don't have an overflow though, which should also be factored into your decision. An overflow hole is responsible for making sure that your sink doesn't overflow with water, causing it to flood. It also helps to increase the draining speed of your sink. Our Casu DS is the only vessel sink that we have that has an overflow hole built into it. So when deciding on what style you want, whether it has an overflow hole or not is an important thing to think about. The next style is the half mounted. These are between the top resting and the top mounted. Our code for them here at Pearl is the W. The vessel sink is really great for showing off, but it can be a little bit impractical. To wash your hands in a top resting sink, you have to clear the lip of it, which can be a little awkward if it's very tall. The Casu Ws are a response to that. By dropping part of the vessel, if you will, into the cabinet, you can have nearly the aesthetic of a top resting sink while not having its height. This creates a slightly more modest look while still embodying the feeling of being on a pedestal. It's here in our W series that we also have our Apron Sink, which is called our WA. It's worth mentioning because of the unique half-mounted apron style. The front of the sink is actually exposed through the cabinet. It gives it more of a rustic farmhouse feel to your washroom. Next, we have our top-mounted sinks, or the Casu Ts. A top-mounted sink rests just its lip on top of the counter, with the bowl inside of the cabinet. This is probably the most common style that you'll see around. In your apartment, or in washrooms around, it's a great sink for people that have laminate countertops. It adds a little texture and more character to a pretty economic material. The last group to talk about is our undermounts. Here at Pearl, we separated them into 2 different codes, our C's for circular undermounts and our S's for square undermounts. An undermounted sink is perfect for people who have a countertop made from a cool material. Whether it's a stone material or has some interesting design going through it, you're going to want to show off that counter, not really the sink. Going square or going circular is totally up to you. It just depends on your personal preference and the aesthetic of the room that you're in. One sink that I did want to mention though is our CM. It's a metal circular undermounted sink, but it also can be top mounted. It's versatile like that. The Casu C also comes with 3 different colors. It can come in black, white, or beige. So there you have it, the major styles of sink and why one might be better suited for you than another. A good way to remember them all is to work up from the bottom. We have undermount, top mount, half mount, and then your top resting. With that knowledge, you are ready to pick out your vanity sink. Thanks for watching.